All right, we're joined now by Matt Miller of ESPN, one of the very best draft analysts out there. And Matt, I want to ask you about a couple of positions the Chiefs could address in this draft, wide receiver and offensive tackle. Beginning with wide receiver, who are some players that maybe could make sense at 32, and if not at 32, maybe later in the draft?
Yeah, great news for Chiefs fans. This is a fantastic wide receiver draft. And so the talent at 32 is going to be plentiful. I look at Texas. There are two players, Xavier Worthy, who is 6'1" and is going to run in the 4.2s. That seems to fit what Kansas City needs. Their other receiver, Adonai Mitchell, 6'4". He's been running in the mid 4.3. So when I look at Kansas City, I'm a big Rashee Rice fan. I think to best complement he and Travis Kelce, you would like some vertical speed opposite them. Both those players absolutely fit that model and should have pretty good weeks here. I think they'll be there at 32. We could see 8 receivers drafted in the first round. So it's a big position of need for a lot of teams. The great news is there's a ton of talent this year too.
Well, and looking beyond round one, are there any sleepers at receiver you like a lot that could be available maybe on day 2 or day 3?
Yeah, again, it is really, really deep. So I think you can look at some like Malachi Corley from Western Kentucky, who's more of that almost Debo Samuel type, big-bodied guy, great yards after catch ability. Javon Baker from Central Florida is going to be more of that, maybe a slot receiver, but has the vertical speed, a really good ball tracking ability. So we could go round by round, and there's really good receiver talent throughout this draft.
Now, looking at offensive tackle, let's say the Chiefs want to go tackle at 32 overall. Who are some names that you like?
Yeah, tackle, this is, it's another, probably the second deepest position. So a lot of right tackles this year. Marius Mims from Georgia is a really interesting player. He started just 8 games in college. He had to wait his turn at Georgia. Then he had an ankle injury, so only 8 games. But I would argue those 8 games are as good as any offensive tackle tape you're going to see this year. So really, really good player. Because of the positional value, we might see a run on tackles in the teens and 20s. But if he's there, I mean, he has the ability to play left tackle. The athleticism's there.
And once again, similar secondary question. Are there any sleepers at tackle that could be available on day 2 or day 3 that could make sense for the Chiefs?
Yeah, Patrick Paul from Houston on day 2. Really, really good agility. 6'7". He's going to have historic wingspan. We know how much Brett Veach loves players with great length. So he fits that mold. Just a little bit raw coming out of Houston. He's going to have to work a little bit in the run game, but the movement skills are absolutely there.